Okay, guys, part 2 of my Blu-rays and DVDs I think you should own, or that maybe somebody you know should own if you're buying it as a gift. This one, whether you own this version or the Digibook, don't care. I like this one. But you need to own Citizen Kane. And anybody you know who likes movies needs to own Citizen Kane. First of all, it's a great story. It's based in some sort of reality. There's all sorts of drama surrounding it as far as the making of it, and it was unprecedented that they allowed someone who was in their early 20s to have full reign. This was in the day when the movie studios controlled everything, and we're not too far from that now, but Orson Welles had impressed them with his radio show, with his War of the Worlds spoof, whatever you want to call it, parody that he did that got the national attention. And so they saw him as a boy genius, and he was. And they allowed him one time to have free, total reign on a film, and this is what he did. He never again got free reign on a film, and he never again put out a movie like Citizen Kane, though he put out some good ones, some great ones. But Citizen Kane stands by itself in a lot of ways. It's a wonderful story. It's wonderfully acted. It's epic in its length and breadth. It's entertaining, I think, throughout, not just from a plot standpoint and a character development standpoint, but from a visual standpoint, from a soundtrack, or the music and the score. The direction was masterful. It was suspenseful. It was at times funny. At times you rooted for Citizen Kane. At times you hated him. And that's just the kind of movie it was. It brought a lot of emotions out of you. I can't say enough about Citizen Kane. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Probably my favorite movie of all time. There's some others that are in the running. But ultimately, if someone asks me what's the best movie that's ever made, I'm probably going to tell them Citizen Kane, all things considered. And I wouldn't be alone. And I hate to just be with the group, but you know what? Sometimes they're right. And in this case, I think the critics and most movie fans have selected Citizen Kane, and I think I would as well. So, Citizen Kane, you should own it. I just noticed that all the movies in what I'm showing are in black and white here on this particular edition, the second edition, or second part of movies I think you should own or give to somebody and they should own them. Except for the last one, and that is a color fiesta. So we'll get to that one last. But these are 3 movies from the Criterion collection. I guess if you follow my channel, or even if you're new to my channel, you'll probably see I do a lot of things with the Criterion collection. I love the Criterion collection because of the way they package the movies, because of the extras that are in there, because of the care they take to make sure it looks right, and because of the types of movies they choose, those that are influential. Those that shaped our lives in a lot of ways, or shaped the movies we see today because they broke new ground, they broke new territory. For me, the top one here, The Seventh Seal by Ingmar Bergman, is one that I saw when I was about 10 years old on the public television stations. It's about the only place at that time you could probably catch it, and I did. I caught it about halfway through one afternoon on a Saturday and was riveted by it. Didn't understand a word they were saying. It was all in Swedish, but I was glued to it nonetheless. And for a 10-year-old, that's pretty cool. And so, The Seventh Seal by Ingmar Bergman, I can't recommend this one highly enough. Max von Sydow, of course, is in it. It's just a wonderful, wonderful movie. It's the Crusades. It's the not the Crusades. It's the Knights going across the. Maybe it was the Crusades. Knights going across the country. Just a terrible time, plague and famine, and little towns with strange little people in them, and a chess match with death. And if that sounds intriguing, it is. If it doesn't, watch it. It's better than I made it sound. Okay, next up, A Night to Remember. This is Roy Ward Baker's filming of the tragedy of the Titanic. Legendary. If you thought that the one with Leo DiCaprio when it was good, you're in for something else when you see this thing. Captures the emotion of the event and the unbelievableness of it. and shows how, and if any number of things could have been different, this would have been different too. So what a great movie, a great filming. There it is. There it is, about ready to go down. Black and white, beautifully filmed in black and white. One of the best black and white restorations you'll see. It is gorgeous, and it is sad, and it is long, at 123 minutes long. But you won't mind that, because you'll be engrossed and entrapped and ensnared into the story, and you will love it. Last, I've already flashed it here a couple of times, is The Night of the Hunter, the only movie that Charles Laughton ever directed, and what a movie it is. And there's plenty of extras on this thing too. You see the extras, and there are on all these, but look at this, tons of extras. Great performance here by Robert Mitchum. For my money, probably his best. Shelley Winters is in it. The kids that are in this are wonderful. It is truly a horrifying movie without being a slasher, or without being some sort of otherworldly type individual who gets stabbed 18 times and gets up. It's just a regular guy who's spooky, who's motivated by greed and will do anything, including murder, to get what he wants, even if he has to kill a child. And pretty scary stuff. The Night of the Hunter, great stuff, in English, by the way. As is A Night to Remember. Deal with the Swedish on Seventh Seal, because you'll love it. Yeah, the next black and white, 8 classic Universal horror movies. I love Universal horror movies. I grew up on them. When I was a kid, there was a show called Monster Movie Matinee. It was on a Saturday afternoon, and I did pay homage to Monster Movie Matinee in one of my videos. You'd have to search for it. I think I called it Monster Movie Matinee. It was all about just using that as an intro and talking about some monster movies. But I'm thinking about using that intro on some things. It was really cool, and talking about some horror movies that I might have seen when I was a kid in black and white, more than likely. Well, no, it would have been in black and white. On these shows that used to run in the afternoon, most likely on Saturdays or Sunday afternoons, where every week 2 local guys usually would, maybe one, would introduce the movie and come back on the commercial and do like little pieces about it or something. And you see that now on Turner Classic Movies and things, but I don't know of anything that's related to horror anymore where they do that. Used to have Elvira, years later, where she did something similar with more modern movies. But anyway, for me, the Universal monster movies, the best ever. The Invisible Man, just psychotic performance, a wonderful performance by Claude Rains. You've got The Mummy with Boris Karloff, and Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein. Dracula with Bela Lugosi. Maybe a little over the top in some ways, but the guy couldn't hardly even speak English, believe it or not, when he filmed that. Lon Chaney, The Wolfman, one of my favorites, because it has sort of like just kind of like an epicness or a fairy tale-like quality to it. The gypsies and the curse, and the whole thing was kind of cool. And it could be anybody. So, Phantom of the Opera. You just got a lot of cool movies out here. Oh, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Loved it when I was a kid. I still do. All of them look glorious on Blu-ray and sound good as well. They did a great job restoring it. This one happens to be the British version. There's also the US version, which is more expensive. The movies are the same. The extras are the same. The packaging is different. Kind of prefer the English packaging in some ways. And also prefer the stuff that comes in the package. The cards, you get like little art cards and stuff. I prefer that in the English package as well. So anyway, but you get either one. Doesn't matter. They're both great. If you don't have it, or you know somebody who loves these old films, pick this up. You really can't go wrong with the Universal Monsters Essential Collection. Yeah, it's Batman, all right. How can you not love this? Everything about this, to me, screams 60s. From the bright cartoon colors that we've got on the, in the restoration, just jumps out at you. And look at this box. This thing just screams color and brightness and 60s, and it's just a wonderful set. It really is. Started watching it. Of course, I've seen, I think most, maybe not all, but most of the episodes before when I was a kid. Love how this one opens. Love the extra stuff they put in it. Love the little Batmobile replica of the Hot Wheels Batmobile, which probably goes for a fortune by now if you had the original one in the packaging. I'll take this one the way it is. It's just cool to have it in the box. The cards in here, I haven't opened them yet, but I've seen everybody else open them. They look cool. I think I had that set when I was a kid, believe it or not. Burt Ward, wonderful Robin. I don't know, I think couldn't have found anybody better to be Robin, and you couldn't have found anybody better to be Batman than Adam West. Campy, absolutely. Will the kids know that? No. You got kids that are 7, 8, 9 years old. This thing's going to play straight to them. For us, we see it as campy and humorous, but in a good way. The villains are villainous, but squirrely. You know, the Riddler is hilarious. Frank Gorshin's fantastic. Burgess Meredith as the Riddler is just a stitch. Cesar Romero, he kept his mustache for goodness sakes, and they just put makeup over it. And you know, colored his white hair that he had. Just amazing. Frank Gorshin, in fact, I learned this by reading the packaging in here and some of the stuff. Frank Gorshin was in such good shape to play the Riddler, to get into that costume. But they had trouble finding a stunt dummy for him because his body was in such good shape. He was really, you know, lean and mean. Adam West, Burt Ward, great. I couldn't, you know, watching, I couldn't remember how many puzzles Robin solved. Robin solved almost all of them, all the riddles. You know, he was supposed to be, Riddler was supposed to be Batman's arch nemesis, or one of them. But Robin was the one, you watch it, Robin solves almost all of them. And Batman does one once in a while, but Robin does a lot of them. And the whole holy whatever Batman, just genius. And then Adam West, you know, tongue-in-cheek, just wonderful performance of an icon. And he said he used to run around on the, you know, on the farm with his cape, with, you know, the towel tied around his neck, pretending he was Batman, just like a lot of kids did, or Superman. But he liked Batman, and so when they asked him to play the part, when he got the role, he was thrilled to be Batman. But thought, you know what? If I play it too serious, if it's too dark, it'll never stand the test of time. And I agree with that. I think the campiness was the way to go on this thing. So you've probably seen this unboxing a million times. Of course, I always save this thing on the top. I just set it right on top on the shelf, and it just sits there and looks good. You've seen the back. Ta-da! Love the way it opens here. You've got the cards. You've got the car. You've got the episode guide here. Looks great. And then each one of these has got some great pictures inside. Just, you know, the whole look of this thing. Look at this thing. Just the colors. It's like Blacklight City here. And one of my earlier videos I've said this, but if you have like so first of all, you have a black light or a greenish purple light, look at this thing with just that light on it. This thing's going to jump out like it was made for a black light, and maybe it was. Just a wonderful, wonderful show. Let's just see that, in case you haven't already. But I think it's great. It brings back my childhood. There's a sense of fun with this thing that's not in a lot of sets that come out. This one's got it. It is, as it says, fully mastered in HD. What's not to like, kids? It's Batman and Robin. And it's not that really bad movie they made. It's actually not too terrible. Although I think that movie was trying to be a little like this and just came up short. So yeah, Batman with Robin, but it's the Batman complete series. It's 120 original broadcast episodes. They filmed a lot of them, friends. And say it's in HD. You also get the digital HD ultraviolet in case you want to watch it on your iPhone or something like that, your Android phone or whatever, or your iPad. Good stuff. All right, guys, that is it for this one. Take care.